it's Chris from H2. In today's video, I'm going to go over wildlife habitat and the different type of parcels that people own and how to improve that on those different type of parcels. The small wooded parcel. The reason why I want to talk about this, hunters own between 10 to 15 acres on average. Now, when you establish your small parcel, the first thing you're going to want to do is find out where the travel corridors are. Find out where you want to put this food plot. Now, whether it's a half acre, 3/4 of an acre, you're going to want to do hedge cutting. You're going to want to make sure that your food plot is going to be in an area where it gets at least partial sunlight, and you're going to want to pick your seed. When picking your seed, you're going to want to go for a heavy food source, which is going to be rye, wheat, or oats. You can even do purple top turnips or something that's going to stay green, remain green, and give your herd the nutrition that they need all year. Now in this video, I'm going to tell you about two different types of food plots: travel plots and standstill plots. Now in your small parcel, you're going to go for a standstill plot, and the reason is because you want the deer, when they come to that plot, to stay there for a while, giving you the best chance of success to shoot that deer. The most important thing about the standstill plot is your stand location. You don't want to hunt right in the wide open with your stand overlooking the whole plot. You're going to want to be tucked in about 10 to 15 yards right off the heaviest trail, so you still have a shooting lane into your plot, but yet you have the opportunity to shoot the deer as they're traveling to your plot. The last thing you need to know about your small parcel is you got to know your neighbors. You got to know what neighbors hunt, what type of land they have, and what type of crops they're putting into their parcels. Now, say you have a small plot and it's surrounded by big ag. You know they're going to be heavy on corn. You know they're going to be heavy on soybeans and regular hay. So when you have a heavy food source like rye, like wheat with oats, maybe purple top turnips in there, you're going to offer those deer a substantially different crop that's going to be more attractive to them. Instead of having 100 acres of corn that they can hit all day, you want those deer to be able to come in there and know that they want to hit that plot because they have something different to eat. Now the next parcel I want to talk about is your mid-size parcel. A mid-size parcel to me is probably 30 to 80 acres. A lot of hunters that I know own about this size parcel, and me myself hunt these type of parcels all the time. First thing you need to establish when you're hunting a mid-size parcel like this is what is your ag to wood ratio. Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Is it 70-30? And then know what you have that's your strong suits of that parcel. So say you have a 70-30 parcel, right? 70% ag, 30% wood. You know that you're going to be crop heavy if you're leasing it out or you yourself are planting corn and soybean rotations. I think the main thing that you need to look at is, all right, I don't have that much cover, but I have a lot of food. So how do I use that to my advantage? Most attractive part of this parcel is that we got 70% of it is going to be ag. The 30% of it is going to be timber. So what are we going to want to do to hold deer there and attract deer there? We're going to want to make that timber very thick, very loaded with browse, and very concealed, so those deer will feel more safe and want to stay in that area versus the other hardwoods that are around. So you might be thinking, how do I thicken this up? Well, plant pine trees, plant shrubs, do hedge cutting. If it's not a disadvantage when you go into your woods and there's trees half knocked over, or there's too many shrubs, or you can't walk through it, it's too thick. Deer love that type of habitat. So when you have small woods, big ag, you're going to want to make your woods seem like it's thick, it's nasty, so those deer will go in there and they'll have the cover, they'll have the protection, they'll feel safe, and then that way you can catch them when they're coming out to those ag fields. So once you have your timber area the way that you want it, the best thing to do is to hunt 75 yards to 100 yards off of those bedding areas. Now, when you have big ag that has small parcels of timber near it, you're going to be able to see the trails from the timber going into the big ag. So my recommendation is that you want to take your stand location and get about 10 yards off of the big ag and right directly over those heavy trails. Because when you have big ag, there's going to be so many different options that to pick one trail doesn't make any sense. So you're going to want to go to where your most trails are and set right on top of them. The last thing about a mid-sized parcel that I think a lot of hunters overlook is if you're hunting a mid-sized parcel, you gotta hunt all day. You gotta hunt dark to dark. Now, the reason I say that is because on a mid-sized parcel where you have a split between ag and timber, you don't really necessarily have the option to be walking in and out of there all the time. So you gotta go in there and you gotta be prepared to hunt all day. And the reason I say that is because you're gonna leave scent every time you walk in. And if you're hunting multiple spots within that parcel, you're really gonna blow it up and then the deer are not gonna be in there anymore. So if you've got a mid-sized parcel that's a mixture between timber and ag, make sure that if you go in to hunt, you're prepared to hunt all day. The last parcel I want to talk about is the big ag parcel. This is for you guys that own farms. This is for you guys that lease over 100 acres, and any of you guys that may be a part of a hunt club that has thousands of acres that you've joined. This is how you should hunt a big ag parcel. First thing you guys need to do on big ag parcels is get your doe to buck ratio right. You're going to want to aim for that 3-to-1, maybe even 2-to-1 doe to buck ratio. Once you get your doe to buck ratio down, I think the most crucial part to having a big parcel is creating a sanctuary. Now your sanctuary, I would say you'd want it to be about 15 to 20% of your property. And the reason you want a sanctuary is a section of your property for them deer to feel safe. You want your big bucks to be able to go in there and chase and breed, and then that way you can really deer manage your herd. One of the things you need to do when you have a big parcel is you got to know your strong parts of your parcel. Say you have a lot of ag over here, a little bit of timber over here, maybe you have patches of timber, as I like to call them, little woods, little islands of woods. You got to know how to play your strong suits. And a lot of ways to get your deer to funnel through a big ag piece is switchgrass. Switchgrass is a great way to provide a lot of cover and a lot of travel corridors for your deer herd. Once you can get switchgrass established, you can focus on what I like to call travel plots. Travel plots will be between your corn rows or your soybean rows. What you want to do is you want to put a nice travel plot, which they're usually really narrow and long, so those deer, when they travel through your property, they'll stop there, hit it, and then move on to the next travel plot. The reason why travel plots are so effective is that you can use them to manage the way that your herd moves through your property. Now, if you have a big parcel and you have neighbors on both sides that have big parcels, those travel plots on the borders of those parcels will help attract those deer out of their timber, out of their ag, and come into your parcel to give you a more successful hunt. And the reason why travel plots are frowned upon by a lot of people is because you don't hunt over them. A travel plot is there to give the deer a different type of crop to eat on, a different type of vegetation, and it's also there to create like a desire to come into your property, hit that travel plot, and then be into your property and stay into your property. To me, I love travel plots. The reason I love them is because I don't have the mentality, if I have a food plot, I need to shoot deer out of that food plot. The reason to put food plots into your property or into your parcel, whatever you want to call it, the reason to put them in there is to get better nutrition for your herd. Once you do that, you're also going to give the deer a safe area to where they can eat food and not be disrupted. Another thing that's a problem with big ag is that people hunt the same stands over and over again. I know your tower blind's comfortable. I know you got a heater in there. I know it's nice to be in there because it's nice, it's relaxing, you know the area. You see the doe come out into the field all the time, eat on the crops. All right, I get it. But the reason that I don't like that is because a lot of the times that takes opportunities away from you, especially when it comes to shooting a mature buck. You have a lot of land, you have a lot of opportunity to get mobile, so if you're in one of these tower blinds and you keep seeing a nice mature buck 200 yards away, but it's bow season, don't be afraid to get aggressive. Have a mobile setup, set up where you're seeing that deer come out into your ag fields, get aggressive, and get a chance at shooting that big deer. Another thing about hunting a big parcel that I think most people overlook is you can never have too much cover. If you got a big parcel, you know you're going to put ag in there. You know you're going to have a lot of food. So increase your cover. Increase those areas for those deer to feel safe, those deer to lay down, those deer to bed, those deer to have browse to eat on. You can never go wrong with thickening up your woods, thickening up your property, and having more cover and more protection for those deer to feel safe so they move through your property and then they stay on your property. The last thing you guys got to know, and this doesn't matter if you have a small parcel, a mid-sized parcel, or a big parcel. Stop buying the trendy products. Just go to your local ag store, your local feed store, and buy the seeds that work for your area. Just make sure that you're enjoying hunting, you're making the best out of your parcel, and I hope that the information that I gave you in this video is going to allow you to improve the wildlife habitat on your parcel. H2 baby.